Alright, we're going to now do our eyebrows, and we're going to be using the Brow Obsession palette in the color Dark Brunette, and we're going to be using our Mineral Touch Concealer, and that's in color Velour, along with our eyebrow brush and our the brush that you will be using for your eyebrow. Now this one just has to be an angled small brush. This one is actually on my website, which you can grab on cosmeticsbybea.com. To start marking where your eyebrow should start, where your arch should be, and where it should end, just grab your eyebrow brush and placing it next to your nose, run a line right through. That's where it will begin. Your arch will just have to be right in the middle of your eye, and at the end you'll just make sure that when your eye finishes, you place your brush towards your nose as well, and that will give you the beginning and ending along with the arch of your eyebrow. So I start by just making a line at the very bottom of my eyebrow so I can make sure that I start shaping it, and then one at the top. Once I start getting a formation and actually shaping my eyebrow, I just start filling it in. I like to do it a little bit darker towards the end. It's preference if you like to make it darker in the beginning of your eyebrow. Normally it's recommended not to, because at that point it will show really dark, but if that's what you like, you can actually just do that either with the eyebrow powder that I'm using, or you can use the eyebrow pencil. So now I'm just going to use this eyebrow brush to take off the excess of the brow powder. And now we're going to start cleaning the eyebrow, meaning making sure that it looks nicely and clean. I'm using this flat head brush. You can use any that you prefer. This one's a short tip. I also like to use this one to prepare my eyebrow or my eyelid for my eyeshadow. And here I will be showing you how I clean my eyebrows as well as prepare my eyelids for my shadow, and make sure that I get my eyebrow shaped the best that I can. I also like to do a cleanup in the middle of between my eyebrows. That way it's actually shaped a little bit better versus leaving that in the middle, leaving it like that way. If you want to make sure that there's even in between as well, and also the arch is really and nicely clean at the top of your eyebrow. Always remember that your eyebrows will not be perfect. They're not supposed to be twins. They're just supposed to look similar. Now I'm going to be using the Real Techniques sponge, and I did wet my sponge. I highly recommend for you to always use a wet sponge. The finish is going to be completely different and a lot better. So I like to just go in there and dab on my eyelid above my eyebrow to get that nice finish. I'm going to be adding a little bit more of the concealer. Now this is the second step, because this is me preparing my eyelid for my eyeshadow. When I clean my eyebrow, I actually add some of the concealer. You can also add a primer to your eyelid to prepare it for your eyeshadow. So I'm just adding a little bit more. I highly recommend when you are going to do a makeup look that requires, or you want to use eyeshadows, to make sure that you're using a primer or concealer works well as well. And just doing the same thing with your sponge and just dabbing it over again to make sure that the finish is nice and ready. Next thing I'm going to be using is a Mineral Touch pressed powder in the color Velour. That is the same color as my concealer, and what I'm going to do now is just seal the concealer with powder. Anything that is in liquid, highly recommended to seal with powder. That's how it's going to look better, and also it's going to last longer. So I'm using a very little bitty sponge, and this one you can find on my website, but any sponge that is that size of your eyes.